Hi, welcome to Hooked on Crochet Stitch and Chat, where we sit around, we work on our whips, or we work on the same project. Today I'm going to be making a googly-eyed octopus, which looks, wait, first I get it stuck in a hook. This guy right here, really simple, works up maybe 40-45 minutes. Give us a little something to do together. Could be fun. So what you need is a googly-eyed finger puppet, which looks just like this fella here. Pick these up at Walmart in a pack of maybe 10 for $2 or something. Got a little worsted weight yarn, and you'll need a needle to weave in your end, and that's it. This is pretty simple. I'm assuming you have a basic working knowledge of crochet. You understand basic stitches. So if you're working with me, I'm using a worsted weight yarn and this googly eye octopus, and I am not going to use an F hook. That is wrong. I'm going to use an H hook. It disappeared with the green screen. There we go. I'm using an H hook today. So usually F is what I use for most of my small stuff. You want to do this with the eyeballs facing upwards like this. So when you go in, you're going in through the top and hang on to that tail. I like to get rid of that because I hate sewing. I mean, like, that's my biggest complaint, sewing. So you're going to want to put 12 single crochets all the way in here. Just pack them in there, 12 of them. And when we get onto the other end, we'll pick up from there. I'm also watching Riff Tracks today, the Goblet of Fire. So this is Harry Potter fun. Okay, now that's 12. And for some reason, I don't got my big scissors sitting around, but I'm going to go ahead and trim that tail off there because we don't need that. It's done, and it's not going anywhere. If you started with like a slip stitch on your hook to start that out, like you should probably have done. And here, got our 12 single crochet, and we're going to start working in the round, still eyeballs up. So let's get behind this eye. It's going to face down for a second, but you're going to do a chain one. It's just going to give you a little extra wiggle room for, because this is not very easy. It's a little fidgety to get in here. I mean, to really get in there and get that first stitch is real fidgety to me, but I mean, it's once you've done that, you're beyond, and it's all good. It's all smooth sailing after this first stitch. Your first stitch is going to have one single crochet. All right, and your second one is going to have two, and so on and so forth, all the way around. So single crochet one, increase in the next. So here is not easy. I'll meet you on the other side. You should have 18. And when you get to 17, 18 here, remember you have a chain. You don't want to crochet into the chain. So you're going to skip the chain, and we are going to do single crochet, then increase. So two single crochets and then an increase. All the way around, you should have 24 at the end. And I'll meet you on the other side. Remember, don't crochet into the chain. I'm halfway there. So I'm here at 24 and there's no chain to worry about here crocheting into. So here's where we're going to begin our legs. We're already that far into this. This is all chain work. So it takes a little bit. If you're like me and you do that jabbing into the chain, but a chain has the V on one side and the bump on the other. We're going to crochet into the bump, back bump. They call it back bump. So first we're going to do a single crochet to begin a leg. And we're going to chain 25. Now, for people, there's some people that don't worry about it. If you got 26, 24, no big deal. You just don't want it like grossly different, I guess. So 25-ish. And then you're going to half double crochet, as we know, yarn over, insert hook. But you're not starting the first, you're going to start in the second chain. So you're going to end up with 24 half double crochet going down, all the way back down, okay? So half double crochet in each chain, the back bump, the back knot. This is, I think, where most of the time in this one. Beyond that, picking up the first stitch in the round, this is where a good chunk of your time gets spent. And I mean, it does have 8 legs, so it should. I've actually given this some thought. You could probably, although it's an octopus, so 8, you wouldn't really want to add more legs. But if you wanted to make a starfish, you could probably make a starfish with this pattern too by just changing it and tapering off the end with single crochets or slip stitches back to begin. You could have a pretty cool starfish out of this too. Although I don't think they have eyeballs. No, not like this. Not that octopus really do either, though, do they? Make what you want. I chose red. You don't have to make a red octopus. But I live in the Pacific Northwest, and we have the Pacific, the red Pacific octopus up here. So our giant one. I figured I'd make a red one. Not only that, but I'm getting ready to go up to Astoria, Oregon for a short circuit event. And also, it is technically Goonies. They've made a holiday of the weekend, Goonies weekend. So I'm bringing some Goonies treats and little skeletons and stuff and octopus. And we'll be doing our movie podcast from there. So looking forward to interacting with some movie fans of all wonderful films that have been filmed in Oregon and Astoria area. I can name a few that have been filmed there. I'm sure I don't know them all because there's a lot of indie films I don't know about. So I'm back down here. That is my 25. We're gonna go into our next stitch. The next 2 stitches, just single crochet. And that completes one like leg cycle. So you do a single crochet, chain 25, second chain from the hook, half double crochet back down, 24, single crochet 2. So in between each leg, there will be 3 single crochet. So we're starting our next leg. We've just done 2. We have to do 1 for our next leg. And then chain 25. Get my 25. Now, second chain from the hook, I'm going to half double crochet in the back bump, and I'm going to go down that 24 times. You could make these curlier. They kind of naturally curl on their own, and these are nothing's extra in there. They naturally do a little curl, but you could do a little curlicue by adding 2 stitches or 3 stitches to each of the first maybe five chains. You could taper it in again, like I said, with single crochets to start too if you want it. I'm happy with these. I think they're adorable like this because they give you a little more ways to play with it. And not that these are the ones I use. I actually have some like clips. This is for something else. But these types of clips that you can open up and sew something onto, you could sew one of these octopus onto a clip and wear it in your hair if you so desired. Or I have one that's on like a kind of a not comfortable, sharpish, long hair clip that I clip on like my backpack on the shoulder. So that's kind of what I do with my little octopus. But they are just as adorable as can be, just like this. My mom has one. She looped a key ring through this area here in the hole between the eyes and around the body. And she has it hanging on her little backpack purse. So there's a lot of different things you can do with these little guys. And like I said, they're quick. I actually, this is not my pattern. All these googly eye type patterns that I've picked up in the past, I picked them up from groups like Random Acts of Crochet Kindness. I can't suggest those types of groups more to people. I have made hundreds of things and just hidden them all over the place. And sometimes they get found, and it's so uplifting when somebody posts that picture and it may, there's always a little story. Oh, my daughter was having a bad day and she found this, or I just got the worst news of my life when I found this, or I was grocery shopping and just happened to cross paths with this. There's just some great stories out there. You never know. That little thing that you hide, which is what we do, we hide little crochet things. That little thing could be, the thing that changes somebody's whole day, makes their whole day so much better. There's some cute ones, like they just make little tiny, like a little crochet granny square with like 3 or 4 rounds. And they do, sorry about my throat, allergy season. They'll say, this is an exercise block. You can walk around the block, things like that. You can lift this block. It's funny. Okay, I'm doing my 25. That's leg 2. So now I'm going to crochet 2 to finish that leg, and then I'm going to crochet 1 to start the next, and chain 25. Man, you're going to go back down. These are so fun. I hit a whole bunch of little skeletons that I've also made in the past. I made a bunch of skeletons for this trip, and I'll probably do a video with them. But last Goonies trip, I hid some everywhere. I hid stuff everywhere when I made little marble bags and filled them with stuff. And you can really change a person's whole outlook on the day with something they didn't expect. So when I go to Astoria, I bring, so far I've got over 100 things made to hand out, but I'll probably be closer to 150 before I leave, and I'll be handing out stuff to people up there again, because I don't know, I feel like the whole Goonies short circuit thing is very fan driven, and everybody's so friendly that treat it kind of like Halloween in a way. I've done this every time I've gone up there. And I'm not the only person. There were a lot of people doing the same thing last year. So there were friendship bracelets, and I think somebody was handing out buttons. I had stickers I was handing out too. I think somebody else had stickers. Just a lot of neat stuff. Some people just had gems. They were handing out gems or doubloons to people. That was very cool. I have them all up in everything I received. I got my shadow box. I got a lanyard from my friend Mr. Nast. That was awesome. That's hanging in my shadow box. Then I ran into a super fan up there named Daryl Boggs, and he is in all the Goonies groups. And this guy was dressed up like Captain Chunk when I met him. I met him at the magic shop in Astoria. He comes up and I just started handing him stuff. I didn't even recognize who he was, and I'd seen him in all the groups. So he hands me this bag and he says, I thought he said take something out of it. And there was like a baby Ruth. There was a thing of the $50 bills in there, which I thought was so cool. And stickers and a trading card and it was so much I can't even remember all the big screen gem style, screen accurate doubloon. And he says, no, no, it's all for you. And I was just floored. I mean, the people that you encounter up there are some of the kindest people you'll ever meet. One of the local crafters up there, and I'm back and I'm gonna do my two, then one, and then 25. One of the local crafters up there is named Steve, and he runs Beach Bum Laser Designs. I'm gonna say it's Laser Designs. I hope I'm not saying it wrong. And he does these amazing wooden magnets that he hides all over the town during these events, and they're free for people to just be find it on a street sign that's yours. And it's something for you to remember your event, and that is so unbelievably kind of a business to do something. And what's he getting? He's not even in Astoria. He's outside of Astoria. So to do that, it's not like he's driving people into a store on Main Street. It's really kind of nice. I thought that was fabulous. So I made sure I went out of my way to go find him before I went home. Got some magnets. He gave me a couple magnets to come home with. That was so nice because I didn't find one. But now I know, and I am on the lookout this year. So that's going to be fun. Some places there's the arcade. It's called Gizmos. That's fun. I'm going to do the Astoria Underground for the first time. I'm looking forward to that. Of course, the Oregon Film Museum is a must visit if you are in Astoria. This year I've got my tickets to go to the Heritage Museum, which is also going to be amazing because if I'm not mistaken, that's where I'm going to find information about Malin Nurmi, and she is Vampira, which is so cool. She grew up there and actually worked in the canneries up there and drove a bookmobile. How cool is that? So get to walk in Vampira's footsteps a little bit. There's the Flavel House Museum. I still haven't visited that. The Maritime Museum. I still haven't visited that. They are spoiled for museums to be such a small town, and it is amazing. And if you visit the film museum, you have to be sure you swing by and say hello to the biggest Goonie of them all, or Goonie, Dave Knight. He has got his finger on the pulse of the Oregon film community, and he's just incredibly nice and welcoming and knows the best place to get a burger. And I'm headed there this year, Dave. I promise. I didn't get to make it last year, but I'm going this year because now I know where to go. Yes, and I'm not telling the secret. You'll have to ask Dave where's the best place to get a burger. So go down to the museum and say, where's the best burger in town? Tell him AC sent you. He'll know. Things are probably about to get wild around here. Everybody's been out at the farmer's market out of town. They're all gonna be coming home and showing me their delicious foods. Now I got four done. So that was two single crochets after the leg, one single crochet before the next, or three. But because of the way it ends, I tell it to you this way: 25 chain, starting in the second chain, working in that back bump, half double crochet, 24 stitches back down towards the body. And this is leg 5. It's a pretty quick project. Maybe depends on how many breaks you take, stop, talk about Oregon and Astoria, I guess. Could probably be a little bit quicker. And I will upload this to YouTube after the show so people can watch it later. Maybe crochet with me. Got riff tracks, Goblet of Fire running in the background. It's a pretty good little dragons. Might have to do a dragon scale project in here. They are a yarn eater, though. I'll tell you, I had designed some many years ago. You can find this pattern at mommymadecrochet.com, or you can search Khaleesi dragon scale barefoot sandals. I think I have that also listed on Ravelry. It's a free pattern, and that uses thread and beads and creates a cool little barefoot sandal with dragon scales. So let your imagination run wild. It doesn't take too long to whip those up once you've got the idea of how the dragon scale works. No issues. 5. 2 single crochet, then 1. 8 tension on the yarn. 25. I don't know, maybe I'm going a little bit quicker than I expected on this. I don't usually work this fast in the back. Yeah, it sounds like everybody's coming in. Everybody, thanks for the heads up about the enormous dragon right behind me. No, it's cool. I'm sure you didn't see it there. I noticed when they brought it in and chained it to the ground. Think this jagged rock arena gets used for a lot of other events? Your Hogwarts tuition dollars at once. CERN should turn to bloodlust any moment. Oh, the stinks! That's the stinks! I don't know if you've ever watched Rift Tracks or if I'm one of the strange ones out there. This is a very small community, or if it's as large as I imagine, but I'm watching Rift Tracks with Goblet of Fire, Harry Potter's Goblet of Fire, and they're currently fighting dragons on my TV. Rift Tracks are the guys that did MST3K, Mystery Science Theater 3000, back in the 80s and 90s. They're actually bringing back a MST3K this year, 4 new experiments from the Rift Tracks crew. So that's exciting. Looking forward to seeing that. Puppets will be back. Rift Tracks doesn't have the puppets, just has their voices, no little in-between skits. But still just as silly and snarky as ever. Back down there, it's number 6, right? Yep, 6. Let's talk about what's really going on with us. Oh, sure. Try to spay me here. You do bad. Look, I don't hear what your friends say, and you shouldn't either. Okay, fine. I'll drop it. But FYI, got top shelf on you. Got my 25 chain in, half double crochet in the second chain from the hook in the back bump all the way down, 24 single crochet. Or, sorry, half double crochet. This little guy will be going with me up to Astoria to be handed to somebody. Could do it during the podcast. Maybe we plan on, if it works out, I plan on asking some people some trivia questions. If they get it right, I'll give them a little something. So something extra, I guess. Also got all those skeletons to hand out at the bonfire on Thursday night, so that'll be exciting. Hope to see you guys there. If you've never heard of Goonies Weekend, be sure to check it out. Also, be sure to go to Short Circuit 40th, I believe it is, .com. Check out everything that's happening this year. Buy tickets. There are some Goonie events going on, like porch visits. Robert Davi will be in town. Mark Marshall, who worked on like every film in his story, will also be there too. Gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good year. You're gonna have Ali Sheedy and Steve Gutenberg up in Astoria returning, along with Eric Allard. He is the man behind Johnny Five. But here's a little trivia. What was the robot's name in Short Circuit? It wasn't Johnny Five. That was Short Circuit 2. And back down, that was number 7, I think. It is. 25 chain. Okay, so his name's not Johnny Five. What could it be? It's a kid's. They'll be home in a few minutes. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. This is number 8. I'm almost there, you guys. Once you finish this last leg, you single crochet 2. Give it a slip stitch if you would like. Finish off in your favorite way, weave in the end. Got yourself a cute little octopus. Keep it, play with it, make it into a haircut, put it on your ponytail, whatever. Take it places, let it live on your desk, put it in your car. There we go. Big old scissors again, because I don't know what to do with my little ones today. I just pull it out. So you want to play SimWars? The new Hogwarts simulator, SimWars? Great game, but for some reason not something. Cafeteria served nothing but dragon loaf for the following year. Looks like curry on the menu. This is not sassy. Okay. You guys had fun. I know I did. Here it is. My little googly-eyed octopus. It's in, all woven in. Thanks for joining me.